the tale of the Jinn's love. The idea of a Jinn falling in love with a human has fascinated hearts and minds for centuries. This extraordinary concept, deeply rooted in Islamic teachings and folklore, speaks of a world unseen yet ever present. Jinn, created from smokeless fire, inhabit a realm parallel to ours. Though invisible, they live close to humans, observing our lives in moments of vulnerability. This closeness has given rise to countless stories of Jinn becoming captivated by humans, experiencing emotions akin to love and infatuation. Yet, such connections often carry profound and perilous consequences. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel. One such story tells of a Jinn who fell deeply in love with a woman during her pilgrimage to Mecca. The tale begins with an Egyptian man who noticed strange and troubling changes in his wife's behavior after their return from Hajj. Once gentle and kind, she became angry, distant, and hostile, rejecting her husband's attempts to comfort her. Confused and heartbroken, the man sought the help of a Raqi, an Islamic exorcist, to uncover the truth behind her sudden transformation. The Raqi began by carefully listening to the husband's account of his wife's behavior. Her aggression, refusal of intimacy, and uncharacteristic anger pointed to something beyond ordinary illness. Sensing the presence of a Jinn, the Raqi turned to the Quran, reciting powerful verses known to expose and weaken such entities. As the recitations filled the room, the Jinn's presence became undeniable. When confronted, the Jinn revealed its story. During Hajj, it had seen the woman walking through the streets of Mecca with her husband. Struck by her beauty and grace, the Jinn became consumed by an intense infatuation. It followed the couple to their lodging, entering their home unseen. Overcome by its emotions, the Jinn attached itself to the woman, claiming her as its own in its world. It sought to isolate her from her husband, driven by a possessive and obsessive love. The Raqi, armed with the power of the Quran, engaged the Jinn in a battle of wills. Through relentless recitation and firm resolve, he weakened the Jinn's hold. Finally, the Jinn was forced to leave the woman's body. As it departed, her demeanor softened, and she returned to her true self, unaware of the ordeal she had endured. This story sheds light on the delicate balance between the seen and unseen worlds. The Jinn's actions, driven by passion, brought chaos and suffering. Yet it also highlights the protective power of faith and the importance of spiritual vigilance. The Raqi's intervention, guided by the Quran, freed the woman and restored peace to her life. Islamic teachings remind us to seek protection through prayer, especially during moments of vulnerability. Simple acts, like reciting du'as before undressing or entering private spaces, can shield us from unseen harm. This tale serves as a reminder of the unseen forces around us and the strength we gain through faith and reliance on Allah. The story of the Jinn's love is both a warning and an inspiration. It calls us to be mindful of our spiritual practices, to seek refuge in Allah's words, and to trust in His protection. In a world where the seen and unseen intertwine, faith becomes our greatest shield against the unknown. The vulnerability of humans to Jinn. In the unseen world, Jinn are known to take advantage of human vulnerability. These moments occur when a person's mental or physical defenses are weakened, times of illness, exhaustion, emotional distress, or significant life events like childbirth. During such times, the human mind and body are preoccupied, leaving openings for Jinn to influence or manipulate. Jinn, being opportunistic, seize these moments to exert their presence. They are said to target specific areas of the brain, particularly those linked to perception and emotion, creating illusions or sensations that feel incredibly real. Many women, for instance, have shared experiences of feeling a tangible presence, a figure that seems solid and human, interacting with them. These encounters, though vivid and lifelike, are often the result of the jinn's ability to manipulate the senses. These experiences can vary from mild to deeply disturbing. Some women describe dreams that feel unusually real, featuring an idealized figure who appears as a lover. In these dreams, the jinn often takes the form of an impossibly handsome man, embodying traits that align with the woman's deepest desires. At first, these interactions may seem harmless or even pleasant, but they often lead to confusion and distress in waking life. The boundary between reality and illusion begins to fade, leaving the individual unsettled. In more severe cases, the jinn's influence extends beyond dreams into the physical world. Women have reported sensations of being touched or held by an unseen force, often against their will. These experiences can become so frequent and intense that they disrupt daily life, causing fear, isolation, and emotional pain. Once a connection is established, the jinn may seek to control the person's behavior, isolating them from family and friends and creating a sense of dependence on its presence. This serves as a reminder of the importance of spiritual protection. In moments of vulnerability, turning to Allah through prayer and recitation of the Quran can shield us from such influences. Faith becomes our anchor, protecting us from the unseen and guiding us back to clarity and peace. Jinn and sorcery. Jinn are not always alone in their actions. Often, their interference is intensified through the involvement of sorcery. Sorcerers who claim to control jinn use them as tools to carry out harmful intentions. These sorcerers may send jinn to ruin relationships, tarnish reputations, or cause physical and mental suffering. Under the sorcerer's command, jinn can create discord in homes by fueling misunderstandings or worsening existing tensions. For example, in a marriage, a jinn might make one spouse appear unattractive or untrustworthy to the other, planting seeds of doubt and resentment. One of the most troubling aspects of this manipulation is the jinn's ability to fill their victim's mind with obsessive thoughts. These thoughts are intrusive and relentless, dominating the person's mind and making it difficult to focus on anything else. Victims often describe feeling as though a voice in their head is constantly whispering, feeding their fears and insecurities. This mental interference can destroy relationships, careers, and overall peace of mind. Sorcery involving jinn doesn't stop at psychological harm. It can also manifest physically. Victims may suffer from unexplained pains, illnesses, or symptoms that doctors cannot explain. These physical ailments are believed to result from the jinn's manipulation of the body's natural functions, creating disruptions that mimic disease or injury. In some cases, entire families or communities may fall victim to the jinn's influence, spreading like an unseen plague. The connection between jinn and sorcery is deeply rooted in many cultures, especially where spiritual beliefs are a part of daily life. In some African traditions, for instance, jinn are thought to work closely with sorcerers, performing tasks in exchange for offerings or sacrifices. These rituals often involve specific chants, gestures, or ceremonies to summon and bind the jinn to the sorcerer's will. Once bound, the jinn carry out tasks ranging from minor mischief to severe harm. This partnership between jinn and sorcerers has given rise to a form of spiritual warfare, where jinn are used to achieve outcomes that would otherwise be impossible. For example, a sorcerer might send multiple jinn to possess a single person, overwhelming their mind and body to the point of collapse. Victims of such attacks often describe feeling crowded, as though their body is no longer their own, and report seeing or hearing things that others cannot perceive. While many jinn involved in these acts are seen as malevolent, some may act reluctantly. Jinn who follow moral or religious principles may be forced into these roles by more powerful entities or sorcerers. These jinn may try to limit the harm they cause, following their commands while avoiding unnecessary suffering. Conclusion. The story of the jinn's love for the woman is a powerful reminder of the unseen forces that exist alongside humanity. It highlights the importance of spiritual awareness, faith, and vigilance in a world where the boundaries between realms can blur. Whether driven by love, jealousy, or malice, the actions of jinn can have profound consequences. Through understanding, faith, and the protective power of Allah's words, humans can guard themselves against the influences of those who dwell in the shadows. The cruelty of jinn and their retaliation. Cruelty is a trait often linked to jinn who lack a moral compass. Such jinn may go beyond the commands of sorcerers, taking pleasure in causing additional suffering. Their actions can be deeply harmful, leaving victims and their families in a state of confusion and despair. The effects of jinn and sorcery are often devastating, disrupting lives and creating a sense of helplessness. Those affected by such harm often turn to spiritual leaders or healers for help. These guides use prayers, Quranic recitations, and other spiritual methods to counteract the jinn's influence. While these interventions can be effective, success is not always guaranteed, especially if the jinn's attachment is deeply rooted or if the victim lacks the spiritual strength to resist. The relationship between jinn, humans, and sorcery is complex and layered. It reveals the vulnerabilities of the human condition, particularly during times of stress, hardship, or weakness. Yet, it also emphasizes the importance of spiritual awareness and protection. Through faith, knowledge, and the support of the community, individuals can find ways to resist the influence of jinn and reclaim their lives from the grip of the unseen. This serves as a reminder to seek refuge in Allah, to strengthen our faith, and to remain vigilant against the forces that seek to harm us. By turning to the Quran and the teachings of Islam, we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from the cruelty of jinn and the dangers of sorcery. Coexistence and conflict between humans and jinn. Jinn are believed to live alongside humans, sharing the same spaces but remaining hidden from our sight. They often inhabit places that humans tend to avoid or overlook, such as abandoned buildings, desolate areas, or sites considered impure. This closeness can sometimes lead to unintended conflicts, especially when humans unknowingly intrude upon their domains. Simple actions, like pouring hot water without care, discarding waste thoughtlessly, or even walking without acknowledging their presence, can provoke jinn to retaliate. To humans, these acts may seem trivial, but to jinn, they can cause harm or distress, especially to their young ones. In their world, such actions might be seen as deliberate aggression, sparking a response driven by their pride and desire for vengeance. Unlike humans, jinn are said to act more on emotion and less on reason. Their passions are stronger and they are quick to retaliate when they feel wronged. A single, careless act by a human can lead to significant consequences, as jinn may seek retribution for what they perceive as an offense. Their retaliation can take many forms, from mild disturbances to severe harm. A person might suddenly suffer from unexplained physical ailments, such as partial paralysis, constant fatigue, or chronic pain. In more extreme cases, the individual may face psychological torment, including intense anxiety, deep depression, or vivid nightmares where they feel pursued or attacked. These manifestations are believed to be the jinn's way of asserting their power and ensuring the individual understands the seriousness of their actions. This delicate balance between humans and jinn reminds us to be mindful of our surroundings and actions. Islamic teachings encourage us to seek Allah's protection and to show respect for all of His creation, seen and unseen. By reciting protective prayers, such as Bismillah before performing everyday tasks, we can avoid unintentionally harming jinn and inviting their retaliation. Faith and mindfulness become our shield, helping us coexist peacefully in a world where the seen and unseen intertwine, nightmares and psychological torment. Nightmares are often the first warning of a jinn's retaliation. Many people report dreams in which they are chased, attacked, or harassed by shadowy figures or strange creatures. These dreams feel terrifyingly real, leaving the individual waking in panic or dread. Such experiences disrupt sleep, creating a cycle of exhaustion and fear that weakens both emotional and physical resilience. By invading a person's subconscious, jinn can create an atmosphere of constant fear, isolating their victim and making them feel alone in their struggle. Beyond nightmares, some individuals experience a series of unexplained misfortunes that seem too strange to be mere coincidence. Objects may fall or break without reason. Family members might suddenly fall ill, or relationships could become strained for no apparent cause. These events, when combined, create a sense of chaos and helplessness. The jinn exploit this vulnerability, feeding on the confusion and fear they generate. In their vengeful state, they often take pleasure in the suffering they cause, prolonging their torment to satisfy their twisted sense of justice. This serves as a reminder of the importance of seeking Allah's protection in every aspect of our lives. Reciting Ayat al-Kursi before sleeping, saying Bismillah before entering a room, and regularly practicing dhikr can shield us from such harm. Faith and mindfulness are our greatest tools in overcoming the psychological torment inflicted by jinn, allowing us to reclaim our peace and strength. Subtle warnings and escalation. Interestingly, not all retaliation from jinn is openly hostile. Some jinn, especially those less inclined to malice, may choose to express their displeasure through subtle signs. These can include strange noises, fleeting shadows, or objects moving inexplicably. While these occurrences are unsettling, they often serve as warnings, a chance for the individual to recognize their mistake and seek forgiveness through prayer or spiritual practices. However, if these subtle warnings are ignored or dismissed, the jinn may escalate their actions. What begins as faint whispers or minor disturbances can grow into more aggressive behavior. The jinn, feeling disrespected or provoked, may intensify their efforts to seek retribution, leading to greater harm or disruption in the person's life. This dynamic highlights the importance of mindfulness and humility. When faced with such signs, turning to Allah in repentance and seeking His protection can prevent further escalation. Simple acts, like reciting Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas for protection, or performing ruqya, healing through Quranic verses, can help restore balance and peace. By acknowledging the unseen and responding with faith, we can avoid unnecessary conflict and live harmoniously in a world shared with jinn. Jinn, attachments, and obsession. Jinn are also known to form attachments to humans out of love, a phenomenon that often begins in moments of vulnerability. For instance, when a person undresses without reciting protective prayers, They may unknowingly expose themselves to the gaze of Jinn. In such moments, a Jinn might become captivated, finding the person attractive in ways that mirror human desires. This attraction can grow into an obsession, where the Jinn seeks to establish a bond with the individual, often without their consent. The Jinn's ability to influence dreams plays a key role in these attachments. They may appear in dreams as an ideal lover, creating vivid and alluring scenarios that feel intensely real. These dreams can leave the individual feeling a mix of confusion and longing, as the Jinn crafts an illusion that blurs the line between reality and fantasy. Over time, the Jinn may deepen these interactions, gaining more control over the person's thoughts and emotions. This makes it increasingly difficult for the individual to resist the attachment, leaving them trapped in a cycle of emotional and spiritual turmoil. This serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of seeking Allah's protection in every aspect of our lives. Reciting Bismillah before undressing, saying Ayat al-Kursi before sleeping, and regularly practicing dhikr can shield us from such unwanted attachments. Faith and mindfulness are our greatest defenses, helping us maintain clarity and strength in the face of unseen influences, physical manifestations, and isolation. In some cases, the Jinn's presence extends beyond dreams and enters the physical world. Individuals have reported feeling an unseen presence nearby, experiencing sensations of being touched, or hearing faint whispers. These encounters can be deeply unsettling, as the person becomes acutely aware of a force they cannot see or fully comprehend. Over time, the Jinn's influence often leads to isolation. The individual may withdraw from family and friends, either out of fear or confusion, inadvertently strengthening the Jinn's hold over them. For those in relationships, the Jinn's presence can create serious conflicts. Driven by jealousy and possessiveness, the Jinn may actively work to damage the bond between the individual and their partner. They might spark arguments, plant seeds of distrust, or distort perceptions to make the relationship seem broken or hopeless. In more extreme cases, the Jinn may even mimic the appearance or voice of the partner, creating confusion and further straining the relationship. This serves as a reminder of the importance of seeking spiritual protection and maintaining strong connections with loved ones. Turning to Allah through prayer, reciting Quranic verses like Ayat al-Kursi and the Mu'awwidat, Surah al-Falaq and Surah an-Nas, and seeking guidance from knowledgeable scholars can help break the Jinn's influence. Faith, coupled with the support of family and community, becomes a powerful shield against the isolation and harm caused by such unseen forces. Physical and emotional disturbances. The effects of Jinn attachments are not confined to emotional or relational turmoil. They can also manifest physically. Individuals may suffer from sudden illnesses, unexplained fatigue, or a persistent sense of weakness. These symptoms often defy conventional medical treatment, leaving the person frustrated and feeling hopeless. The Jinn's ability to manipulate both the body and mind allows them to maintain control, making the individual feel trapped and powerless to break free. Counteracting Jinn influence. Despite the challenges, there are ways to counteract the Jinn's influence. Prayer and spiritual practices are essential in protecting oneself from these unseen entities. Regularly reciting Quranic verses such as Ayat al-Kursi, Surah al-Falaq, and Surah an-Nas can create a shield of divine protection. Seeking guidance from knowledgeable scholars or raqis, Islamic healers, who specialize in spiritual matters can also provide clarity and solutions. Maintaining strong faith and trust in Allah is crucial. Faith acts as a fortress, weakening the jinn's hold and empowering the individual to resist their influence. Additionally, fostering a supportive community is vital. Family and friends can provide emotional strength and encouragement, helping the person avoid the isolation that jinn often impose. Together, faith, knowledge, and community support create a powerful defense against the unseen forces that seek to harm us. Conclusion: reclaiming control. The relationship between humans and jinn is a complex and multifaceted dynamic, shaped by moments of vulnerability, unintentional actions, and the jinn's own desires and motivations. By understanding these interactions and taking proactive steps to protect oneself, individuals can navigate the challenges posed by these unseen beings and live free from their influence. The interplay between humans and jinn often leaves individuals feeling trapped in fear, confusion, and vulnerability. Yet, with knowledge and faith, there is a clear path to reclaiming control and finding peace. The role of ignorance and knowledge. In many cases, jinn exploit the ignorance of their victims, using gaps in knowledge to establish and maintain their influence. This ignorance gives them an advantage, allowing them to act unchallenged. The first step in combating their influence is to understand their nature. Jinn, created from smokeless fire, possess free will like humans, meaning they can choose good, evil, or neutrality. However, their immaterial nature grants them abilities beyond human comprehension, such as invisibility, swift movement, and the power to manipulate physical and mental states. Without spiritual guidance, humans are often defenseless against these abilities. Isolation as a tactic. A primary tactic of jinn is to isolate their victims, often psychologically. They foster feelings of fear, shame, or helplessness, preventing individuals from seeking help. For example, a jinn attached to a person may drive them to withdraw from family and friends, deepening their control and weakening the individual's ability to resist, creating doubt and confusion. Jinn often sow doubt and confusion about spiritual matters, planting thoughts that question one's faith. This creates uncertainty and despair, leading individuals to neglect prayers, avoid spiritual texts, or feel an aversion to places of worship. This spiritual disconnection makes it easier for jinn to deepen their hold. Spiritual awareness and protection. Protection begins with spiritual awareness and proactive measures, regularly reciting Quranic verses like Ayat al-Kursi, Surah al-Falaq, and Surah an-Nas creates a spiritual shield against jinn. Incorporating these recitations into daily routines, especially before sleeping or entering the private spaces, establishes consistent protection. The importance of community. A supportive community is crucial in resisting jinn influence. Isolation, whether imposed by jinn or self-inflicted, increases vulnerability. Family, friends, and spiritual mentors provide guidance and encouragement, reminding individuals they are not alone and strengthening their resolve. Seeking knowledge and empowerment. Educating oneself about jinn and their behaviors is essential. Ignorance is their greatest weapon, allowing them to operate in secrecy. Knowledge dispels fear and empowers individuals to take preventative measures, facing challenges with confidence. The power of intention and mindset. A strong intention and mindset are vital. Believing in one's ability to overcome jinn influence, coupled with faith in divine protection, creates a powerful barrier. Jinn thrive on fear, so remaining steadfast weakens their hold and restores autonomy. Seeking help from spiritual practitioners. For those already under jinn influence, seeking help from experienced spiritual practitioners is key. Through ruqyah, Islamic exorcism, which involves Quranic recitation, supplication, and spiritual guidance, the jinn's presence can be removed. This process requires patience and persistence, but, with faith, leads to freedom. Holistic measures for protection. Beyond spiritual practices, maintaining physical and mental well-being is important. A healthy lifestyle, proper nutrition, exercise, and stress management bolsters defenses. Activities like meditation or mindfulness promote mental clarity and emotional balance, reducing susceptibility to jinn interference. Coexistence and resilience. Ultimately, humans and jinn coexist, with occasional conflicts. While jinn possess abilities beyond human understanding, they are not invincible. Through knowledge, faith, and community, individuals can protect themselves and live without fear. The unseen world of jinn reminds us of life's complexities, urging vigilance, spiritual awareness, and steadfastness. By facing these challenges with courage and understanding, individuals reclaim their security and peace, affirming the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of faith.